So how long you been doing art?
Art, I've been drawing since I could pick up a pencil. 2, 3 years old. Whenever I could grasp my hand and like try to make an image. I've been doing it since then. The funny thing is, the first time I remember doing any art, that I clearly remember doing it, is I took a crayon and I actually drew on the wall all the way down the hallway. I drew Spider-Man fighting Dr. Octopus, and the rhino and shit. So it's kind of ironic that I ended up writing graffiti, because my first memories of doing art was writing on a wall.
Let's begin. Assalamu alaikum, people of goodwill. I offer you the greeting of thought, manifested skill to finally reveal the open-end chapter, as real as the flesh that you're embodied in. To the skull cavity, your mind is rotten, and I'll be riding in. And it might have been a slight rotation warp to curve the course. Of course, I'm cordial when I report. I won't distort, I don't contort, connect, conduct, collect, console, or conceal. In full control of the role of the wheel. My eyes are my appliance to decipher the science, omitting defiance with the high-tech mic check. The buttons that flashed are pushed for absolute destruction. Your structure is lifted from the ground. The foundation mound is broke, so you float around. I'm embedded in what is known as beat. Let it be shown every enzyme is complete. In time, you'll see the pace of the post pump. Rapidly, heart rate, happily marched. I happen to be the dark man who holds the charts. Or arch my horizontal line to make a rain.
I wanted to have some kind of cityscape thing, some kind of like urban thing, maybe with some type of like, you know, some urban destruction kind of element. And then he, for some reason, at that moment, he's like, Rampage.
Rampage.
No, anybody remember Rampage with all these big creatures like snapping off the tops of buildings and going nuts and stuff?
When I started drawing this thing up, they wanted me to do like that video game Rampage, like a King Kong fighting a Godzilla.
So Arya, who works here, so she's known Jerry for a long time, and she kind of caught me up to date with the whole bunny legend.
But they wanted me to do one of my bunnies in it, or like incorporate the bunny somehow. But I didn't just want a random bunny floating around, so I stuck them the heads controlling the King Kong and the Godzilla, and I gave Godzilla a spiked bat because Godzilla's kind of a punk because he brought like flamethrower to a spiked bat fight. I'm doing graffiti, son. Bring it to the streets, dog. Because the kids need it. It's a hip-hop ministry. All the solid blocking stuff, that's like the worst part of doing graffiti, is because you got to sit there and fill in a big old solid block. It's just repetitive.
But now I see I don't, and I wish that I did. Honey made a right step off to the flight, upstairs up some more. She made a left and hit. Looked down at my shoes and the cuff of my slacks. I know I got styles and that the sheep can attract. Came out with something sticking, double mint. You know it, yo. You think my breath was kicking? Now in the bathroom I go and fixing his throat. The sugar daddy, Mr. Long. What's up, mister? Smacking his fist. Say keep punching this fight, villain who come. Cause we're on the one, gotta get the job done. Now come on, cousin, let's go have some fun. This party wasn't whack, yo. The toilet holds the back, oh, that's all I need to see. Oh, I'm reaching for a Philly to arrange. I look along, it looks at me, it doesn't say a word. And damn, it feels strange. Walking through the crowd, pollution's got me choking. Funny that I'm joking, yo, could it be that I'm smoking? Pounds are going round, and though I love my crew, I'm hoping. Oh, yo, I love it when the system's kinda booming, call it sonic. But now it's honeysuckle for a chuckle and some tonic over there. Don't tell me you don't see that cutie. Long look at double bubble with the pirate's booty. From birth, I say she was raised to be all that. Gave her no food, in fact. Strictly Similac, felt like a senator's son. The ties that be on Flojo.
I grew up in southern Arizona on the border in a town called Nogales. It's right in the border to Nogales, Sonora. It's one town split in half. It was like nothing to do there at all. And it was kind of fucked up because I was like a lot different than the other kids around me. I was really into like drawing and art, and comic books, and like poetry and reading and watching movies and So me growing up as opposed to those kids who grew up being really into what was popular at the time and kind of pulling themselves into popular culture and making themselves accepted in the, you know, the little peer groups as far as high school is concerned and stuff, it was kind of sucked. I got really into punk rock, really into skateboarding. I skateboarded for about, man, like 15, 16 years till I broke my leg and then I had to quit. And I was writing graffiti and skateboarding all at the same time. It all went together, man, especially in the 90s. We get jumped into a crew, it's like a gang. Back then, I don't know how they do now. I mean, this was 1993. What was that?
I figured you
16 years ago.
A sock and all puffed it or something.
No, they beat you up. They beat you up for like 30 seconds.
Did you get jumped in?
Yeah.
Tell me about that.
We're in the Tucson River under the Speedway overpass. There used to be a legal yard there, and this crew called APT wanted me in, and they just basically like jumped me in the river under the Speedway for 30 seconds. Three of my boys.
So did you know this was going to happen?
Yeah.
Okay, so
I wanted to be in the crew.
You wanted to be in the crew, so you're like, okay, do it.
Yeah, it was only like 30 seconds.
Okay.
Punch in the head a little bit and you punch back. And then later on that night, they told me I wasn't in the crew and I had to drink 240s I had to pound 240s really quick and then I was in the crew. So I pounded the 240s and then I was in the crew.
I was raised in the hood, called what the death. Where the brothers in the hood be chivalrous. So I rest defense on my ligaments. Pistol grip, pump on my lap. Risking it, oh, life giving. Never giving it back, too late for slipping. So slack, oh, it's on my lap, it's on your lips, some track shut. I still dick long, slick with punk butts. And I'm saying, ain't no question who the man is. In my civic and in this showbiz. I should've fooled, I could've fooled. Come on, what you say? I think I take care of all you motherfuckers, no delay right away. Pump on my lap at all times. Mr. Grip, pump on my lap at all times. Mr. Grip, pump on my lap at all times. Niggas fuck with other niggas shit, but they don't fuck with mine. Mr. Grip, pump on my lap at all times. Cause tricks be out for your blind side. Never understood it, but remember I showed you that in the 90s you gotta look over your shoulder. Strap, well that ain't nothing, you just for getting high. And a cop ain't give a shit for just passing you by. If they're in trouble on the double, best to call your pals. And if you ain't got them bucks, I got million styles around me. Are we getting along? Well, family, we better be. We got your back, 10. Don't be pointing no more than them. Alright, man. Pistol grip, pump on my lap at all times. Pistol grip, pump on my lap at all times. Pistol grip, pump on my lap at all times. Niggas fuck with other niggas shit, but they don't fuck with mine. Pistol grip, pump on my lap at all times. Pistol grip, pump on my lap at all times. Pistol grip, pump on my lap at all times. Niggas fuck with other niggas shit, but they don't fuck with mine. Rhyming is a cinch.
This is Jerry Wagner, and this is day 3 of the Delphina project. This is the third and last day. Everything went really smoothly. First day came in with 245 Media. We sketched the thing out, lined it out. Second day came in, put in big blocks of color and detail, and the third day was all finishing touches. Popped some colored outlines around everything. Threw a little bunny up there in a biplane. Website is backwardsend.com. It's got all my art on it, my thoughts about life.
Grip, pump on my lap at all